Most small business owners don't think they've got a motivation problem. They think they just need to push a little bit harder. They think they need to be more disciplined. And they say to themselves, you know what? I'm going to try again next week. But if you've been telling yourself this for a while right now, that means this episode is going to be super important for you. Because here is the pattern I see most of the time for small business owners. You have this big burst of energy. You feel like you can take on the world, you can achieve any goal that you put in front of yourself. You feel determined, you tell yourself, right, this is the week that I am properly going to get on top of things. This is going to be the big turning point for me. And then before you know it, the week fills up. You get busy. You start doing things start trying to get your attention. And by the end of that week, you are no clearer, you are no closer to achieving the goals than you were when you first started. Now, that isn't a motivation issue. That is a clarity issue. And here is what I need you to know. Motivation is unreliable. It depends on your energy, on your mood, on how stressful the week is, and how many problems come and land in front of you on that particular day. And when motivation drops, most people assume that they are the problem. But you're not the problem. The real issue is this: when you don't know exactly what matters to you most right now, every single decision feels really important. It feels like it's the one that you need to address right now in this moment. And when everything feels important, nothing actually gets your full, proper, undivided attention. So, what happens? Well, here is what happens, used to happen to me too. And this is what I see happening in front of so many people now. You start jumping between tasks. You do one thing here and you do another thing over there. You then start second guessing decisions. Then you constantly feel behind. And then by the end of the day, you're feeling completely tired, you're wiped out, and worst of all, you feel unsatisfied because you just haven't achieved any one thing in particular. And over time, this starts to erode your confidence in yourself. And once that confidence starts to go, progress starts slowing down altogether, no matter how hard you say to yourself you're working, because you are just flitting around. And it's one of the first things I recognize in people when I start working with them, because I could see it from what, and I used to do it too. And it's exactly where so many people are tripping up because you don't lack ambition, right? We know you've got a ton of ideas, but what you're lacking is this clear filter for what deserves your time, what actually needs you and your time right now. And more importantly, what doesn't deserve it? What doesn't actually need you and your full attention? Because when you start trying to claim to yourself, you know, actually, this doesn't need me. That is one of the strongest, hardest things for so many small business owners to admit to, because you feel like you should be doing everything. You feel like if you're not doing it, you're not involved in it, that it simply isn't going to be done the way in which you want it to be done. But you have to learn to actually achieve any realistic goal, to actually get the results that you want. You can only do one thing at a time. So if other things need to be done that don't actually fulfill that big goal that you need to focus on first, you are going to have to start trusting and delegating things to other people. So once you fix that, once you admit to yourself that actually I can't just do everything by myself, the grind will start to feel less of a grind. You will start seeing the results that you actually want and the ones that you deserve for the effort that you're putting in. Clarity does something that motivation never ever will. and it removes friction. Because when you're clear on what you're actually looking to achieve, you can make decisions faster. And those distractions, they're easier to ignore. And then the effort that you're putting in feels like it's better because you're seeing the results for the effort. And that is why clarity creates momentum faster than motivation ever will. So here's something worth doing today, okay? I want you to ask yourself, if I could only make progress on one thing in my business this week, what would it be? If that question feels a little bit uncomfortable, that's a sign, right? Because discomfort here usually means you have been spreading yourself too thin for too long. And it's exactly the problem I built setting goals you can actually achieve to solve. So this isn't about hyping you up. This isn't about me standing there being a cheerleader to get you going because we know the motivation exists. It's the clarity and the actual clear goal setting that you're missing. So we need you to have something to decide what deserves your energy and what doesn't. Because working harder without clarity is one of the fastest ways for you to just end up burning out. And we don't want that to happen. You need fewer priorities and you need to make clearer decisions to start achieving those big goals and those big dreams that you have for your business. Once that clicks, everything else becomes so much easier to handle. So, if you want my eyes directly on your business, if you want me to help work with you to achieve your best ever year, check out the link below this episode, right? Because I will show you exactly what we can do to make your decisions easier so that you can start getting results faster. I will also have a link to my mini course down there too, so that you can see exactly how you can set goals. And there will be some resources in there to help you to achieve them, with some spreadsheets for you to fill out so that you can stay on track. This is about you creating a business for yourself this year that is sustainable, one that doesn't just mean that you're winging it the whole time. The more you have control over your business, the more you have control over your actions, the better your decisions will be and the better business you will have at the end of it. So, whatever it is that you decide, right, just promise me that you will take one step at a time and that you will put the focus on one thing at a time instead of running around like a headless chicken trying to do absolutely everything. Okay? Until next week, I hope you have a good one.